The Book Review channel presents a review of Charles Dickens' book, A Tale of Two Cities. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell so as not to miss other interesting reviews. Brief review of Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. The review was inspired by reading the wonderful historical novel by Charles Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities, about the life of different sections of the population during the French Revolution, late 18th century. Summary of Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. The plot of A Tale of Two Cities, by Dickens, takes us to the 18th century. A high-ranking employee of a well-known banking office, Mr. Lorry, travels to France with a very difficult assignment. He must inform the daughter of his old client, Lucy Manette, that her father, Alexandre Manette, is alive. Alexandre Manette spent 18 years in the Bastille without trial. His family knew nothing about him all this time, and his daughter believed that he had died long ago. Lucy was shocked by this news, and together they went to pick up Alexandre Manette, who, in a state of severe mental disorder, was living with his old servant Defarge, not realizing that he was free. Lucy and Alexandre Manette travel to England. Lucy manages to awaken her father to life. Now he rarely remembers what he experienced and lives almost normally. Meanwhile, the Manette family is involved in the trial of Charles Darnay, who is accused of treason. Thanks to the efforts of attorney assistant Sidney Carton, Darnay is fully acquitted and released. And Charles and Lucy fall in love with each other. Charles Darnay lives in England under a false name. In France he belonged to an aristocratic family, from which he tried in every possible way to disown, renouncing his inheritance rights. His French family is known for its cruel attitude towards the common people. It is for this that the Marquis, Uncle Charles, is killed by the so-called patriots, future revolutionaries, and his entire family is sentenced to destruction. When Alexandre Manette learned that Darnay is a descendant of the Marquis, he has a new seizure. This Marquis contributed to Manette's illegal imprisonment. Mr. Lorry and Cindy Carton, a talented but unsociable young man, become friends of the Darnay family. Mr. Lorry has sincere warm feelings for the father of the family and for Lucy herself. And Sidney is in love with Lucy and is ready for anything, not only for her, but for the sake of everyone her family. In France, meanwhile, a revolution begins, and power is seized by the broad masses of the people. Chaos begins in the country, the French aristocracy flees, the king is captured, old laws are replaced by new ones, another, new life is raging, with violence against those who have oppressed the people for many centuries. Charles Darnay decides to go to Paris to save his manager from reprisal. He secretly leaves for France from his family, where he is almost immediately arrested and imprisoned as a representative of the hated aristocracy. The whole family of Charles comes to Paris to rescue him. Dr. Manette, who is now respected by the revolutionaries for his difficult prison past, unfolds a frantic activity and sets everyone in favor of Charles. After 2 years, a trial took place over Charles, which completely acquitted him, and Charles was released. Nevertheless, on the same day, he was again arrested on the denunciation of 3 persons: Defarge, his wife, obsessed with revenge, and some unknown person. A new trial begins for Charles. The public is told that the 3rd person on whose denunciation Charles is being tried is Alexandre Manette. It turns out that after the storming of the Bastille, Defarge searched Manette's former cell and found a diary written by him, in which Manette tells the story of the abuse of his father and uncle Darnay over a family of peasants. The husband of a peasant woman was tortured to death, she herself, pregnant, was raped. Her brother was stabbed to death, and the sister was hidden somewhere. Manette was invited to the home of the Marquises to look after his dying sister, raped, and brother, stabbed to death. They tell him about these atrocities, and Manette decides to inform the minister about it. The report did not reach the minister, and Manette himself was imprisoned in the Bastille. In the diary, Manette casts a curse on the entire line of Marquises. After reading these notes aloud, Charles had no chance. He was unanimously found guilty and sentenced to death. Dr. Manette was unable to do anything for Charles and fell back into unconsciousness himself. Charles was saved by the dissolute Sidney Corton, who replaced Darnay in the cell with himself. They were very similar, out of love for Lucy. Darnay and his family made it out of France safely, and Sidney was executed instead of Charles. Defarge's wife turned out to be the hidden sister of the same woman abused by Darnay's father and uncle. She wanted to exterminate their entire family, including Darnay's wife Lucy and his daughter. Lucy's tutor Miss Pross, who killed Madame Defarge, prevented her from doing this. Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities ends with a brief description of subsequent events. A large number of «patriots» very soon followed there.